Hello everyone, thanks for joining the Sauce Bosses on our debut show, the Sauce Bosses. I'm Kevin.
And I'm Colin.
And we're going to share how to make stuffed shells today. First, let's start off with the ingredients. To make stuffed shells, you're going to need diced tomatoes, red sauce, jumbo shells, boiling water, vegetable oil, sausage, mozzarella shredded cheese, Parmesan cheese, ricotta cheese, eggs, and any desired spices. Now, Sauce Boss Colin is going to show you the needed materials in order to make this dish.
First, you need a large pot with boiling water, a saucepan to do your sauce, a frying pan for the sausage, an oven pan, a large bowl, and a strainer. And it would be lovely to have an iPad with you to help with the recipe. Now, Kevin is going to show you how to make the food.
Now let's begin. You're going to want to start off with putting your shells in the boiled water. And in this boiling water we put vegetable oil, 1 tablespoon. That's because you don't want the noodles to stick together while they're in there. We're going to go ahead and pour these in there. Now while that's going on, we're going to want to start the sausage. You're going to turn on your stove to probably at medium heat. And then, while it's going on, you're going to want to go and preheat your oven to 375 degrees. Oh, and I almost forgot to tell you, you're going to want the noodles to sink all the way to the bottom of the water so that all the noodles cook evenly. Now Colin's going to show you what you're going to do with the sausage. Take it away.
You just cut it up nicely into very thin strips.
Don't forget, this is all on medium heat.
Yes. You do not want it too high or else you'll burn it.
Exactly. Now you guys might be wondering why we are called the Sauce Bosses. Well, Colin, you want to give him a little insight on that?
Well, in 2005, we had a competition, whoever can make the best sauce in Minnesota, or the best sauce.
You meant sauce.
And, well, the competitors gave up because we had the best sauce in the entire nation.
And then another reason why we're called the Sauce Bosses is because all the dishes you're going to be seeing us doing on this show in the later weeks are all going to have something to do with a type of sauce. Or like, see how we have red sauce in this case with these noodles, so we're going to vary in different types of sauces and stuff like that.
The reason we use canned sauce is because we find it more flavor-filled. When we make our own, it doesn't have that much flavor in it.
And especially when we do it on a show like this, it takes too long to make the sauce, so we like to just shorten it up and use a nice Prego. Shout out to Prego for you guys out there. Alright, and then once this is all going to get going, we're going to be adding the ricotta cheese into our stuffed shells. Oh, we're going to stuff the shells with the ricotta cheese.
Right.
Okay, now that we got our red sauce going, our sausage right here is wrapping up. So you're gonna want to put the sausage in a nice paper towel-like plate so all the grease can get out. So once that is all done, you're going to want to take out your noodles. Remember, you don't want to cook these fully. You want to cook them about halfway because you're still going to have to put them in the oven. So that's when it's going to finish its cooking. So while I'm doing all this, Colin's going to show you how to make the ricotta filling that's going to go in the shells.
Okay, first, the ricotta filling. Put them all into this large bowl. And after that, you crack the eggs and put them into a small cup so you don't get it all into the bowl and mess up your whole thing. Put that in. And then we have some, in a 1/4 cup, Italian spices. And in the half cup, you have combined onion powder, garlic powder, and garlic salt. You add it all together, and you start stirring. Now stay tuned, because after this, we are going to show you how to stuff the shells properly.
Welcome back to the Sauce Bosses. While you were gone, we drained the noodles, we put the sausage on its plate so we can get all the grease out. I want to dab here and there just to make sure there's no grease on there. And now that we like the consistency of our filling right here, Sauce Boss Colin's going to show you what to do next with this.
Well, since this is perfectly done by me, I'm going to add 2 cups of this cheese, mozzarella. Just put it all in there, start stirring.
Make sure it's stirred nice and well.
Yep. And after this is done, we're going to show the shells who's boss.
So before we show those shells who's boss, you gotta first prep your pan. You gotta put a nice layer of sauce on the bottom of the pan. This is so that the shells do not burn or stick to the pan. You're gonna get a nice layer of this. While I'm doing this, Colin will show you an example of how to stuff the shells with the filling.
Okay. Well, you take one noodle, gently open it, and put the cream laying thing in here.
This can get really tricky. That's why you need some experience the first couple times in order to make the shells look good.
Fully prepped?
Yep, almost. And I'll give you one more close-up example of how to stuff these shells. I'll get a nice spoonful. Just kind of spoon that guy in there.
That looks perfect.
It's a little awkward at first, but you start to get used to it and you become a sauce boss. Colin was nice enough to finish up stuffing these shells.
They are pretty good.
So now what you're going to want to do is start putting these shells on the sauce pan. Keep them a little spaced out, but it doesn't really matter if they're touching.
They're looking good.
Once we get all these put on the pan, we're going to add the sausage and the diced tomatoes. And then you can also add extra mozzarella cheese. Depends on how much you like cheese. Entirely up to you. It's extra for me. Exactly. Okay, so now that we got these first shells on there, we can start to sprinkle the sausage. Basically, your preference on how much sausage you want. And then once we get these sausage spread on there, you're going to want to add these diced tomatoes with a better flavor than just a normal red sauce. Scoop this in there. Just put them sloppily over the top, doesn't really matter. Adds to the flavor. And now we can add the extra cheese on it. To add how much? Brilliant. Make sure that your oven is at 375.
I'll check that.
Let's double check on that.
Oh, that is looking good. It is ready.
And then add a little bit of red sauce on top. Put a nice sauce on top.
I think a little more would do.
Good one. Depends how much a sauce boss you are.
It's true.
Okay, now it's time for this to go in the oven. Well, but first, you're going to want to put tin foil on it because that keeps like the moisture and everything in there so it doesn't dry out and all that. So I'm going to wrap the tin foil around it. And now it is ready to go into the oven. This is going to cook for a while, and while it's cooking, we're going to start cleaning up everything. Get ready to eat.
Yum.
Okay, so now that the shells have cooked for 40 or so minutes in the oven, they are ready to serve. So now I'd like to take the time to thank you for joining me, Kevin,
Me, Callan.
as the Sauce Bosses, and hope you can join us next week so you can be the boss of your next sauce.
The girl them skill out, Thunderball.